All right, so the first thing I got here is let's use the process of elimination. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these two equations together. X plus x will be 2x, and y minus y will cancel. 4 plus 6 will get me 10. And so x will equal 5. Then if I put 5 in this equation, 5 minus 1 is 4. So I know y equals to minus 1, and so the first answer will be 5 and negative 1. For the next one, I'm going to add again, because that will eliminate y. X plus 2x becomes 3x. Y minus y cancels out. 6 plus 3 equals 9. Divide by 3 on both sides will get me x equals to 3. And if I substitute 3 back into the original equation, I'll get 3 plus 3 equals 6. So y equals 3 for that one there. The next one, I can also add, but in this case, x will disappear. Y plus y becomes 2y. 8 plus 4 becomes 12, so y equals to 6. If I replace the first equation with 6, 2 plus 6 is 8. So x equals 2, and I'm done there. For the next one, if I add, 2x plus x becomes 3x. Y plus y cancels out. 4 plus 6 equals 10. 10 divided by 3 will be x. And now I'm going to substitute it back, let's say, into the second equation because it's easier. So 10 over 3 plus y equals 6 means y will be 6 minus 10 over 3. That's 18 minus 10 over 3, which is 8 over 3. So these two will create some kind of fraction. Okay. All right, so give these next 5 questions a try. Probably increasing slightly in difficulty as you go along. Alrighty, let's go through each of these now. In the first case here, I'm going to add, and that's going to become 3x. That's going to eliminate, and that's going to become 18, so x will equal 6. If I put 6 back into any one of the two equations, 6 minus 2 gets me 4. So y equals minus 2, and my coordinate will be 6, negative 2. Always put x first and then y. This one over here, I'm going to add as well. If I add it, 2x plus x becomes 3x, minus y plus y cancels out, 2 plus 4 becomes 10, x equals 10 over 3. I'm going to put 10 over 3 in here, and I'm going to plus y and make it equal to 4 from that whole equation over there, replacing x with 10 over 3. Y is going to be 4 minus 10 over 3, which is 12 minus 10 over 3, which is 2 over 3. So y will be 2 over 3, so my coordinate will be 10 over 3 and 2 over 3. For the next one, I'm going to add, and so that will become 4x. That will cancel out. And then 4 plus 8 gets me 12. I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. X will become 3. And so now I'm going to substitute 3 back into the easier equation. 3 minus 2y equals 8. Minus 2y will equal 3 minus 8, because we change signs using an equation and knowledge of equations. 8 minus 3 gets me 5. And so y becomes negative 5 over 2, dividing both sides by negative 2, getting me the x value to be 3, but the y value to be negative 5 over 2. I can double check that and make this equal to 3. That's going to become 6. And then 4 minus 6 will become, no, that's 9, sorry. 4 minus 9 will be negative 5. Negative 5 divided by 2 will be negative 5 over 2. So that looks correct. If I can choose any one of the equations, I'm getting fractions in here, which might seem more difficult, but it's still good. All right, let's go to the next one. In this one, I'm going to subtract. Because if I add, what happens when I add? When I add, I end up with 6x, and I end up with minus 4y minus y, which is minus 5y, and 8 plus minus 7 is 1, which is pointless, because nothing eliminated. I still have y, I still have x. If I add, then that's wrong, right? But if I subtract for this one here, then what happens is that 3x plus x will become 6x. And so, sorry, 3x minus x will become 0. It'll eliminate. If I subtract, it will eliminate. If I add, it will become 6x. If I subtract over here, I get two minuses, which becomes a plus. So I end up at minus 4 plus 1, y. And that's negative 3y. And if I subtract here, then that will also become a plus and become 8 plus 7. And what's 8 plus 7? 15. Divide by negative 3, and I get y equals to negative 5. Now I'm going to substitute it back into one of the two equations. Let's say this equation. 3x minus negative 5 equals negative 7. That was y. And now it's changed into negative 5, right? That's going to become 3x plus 5 equals 7, negative 7. Negative 7 is going to minus 5 to become negative 7 minus 5, which is negative 12. And I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. And it's going to become x equals to negative 4. Okay. So now I've got my x and I've got my y value, which would be negative 4, negative 5 for this one. For the last one, what I have over here is a bit more trickier than the others, because this one is not just adding and subtracting. Because if I add it, I got 3x, I get y, and I get 13. If I subtract it, I get negative x plus 3y equals 3. So that's still pointless. So I can't add this one and I can't subtract this one. So what I have to do is I've got to rewrite either this equation or rewrite this equation so that these two numbers are the same or these two numbers are the same, the coefficients. If the coefficients are the same, I can then subtract it and add it. If I change this number into 2, for example, by multiplying by 2, then I can change this one into 4, and I can change this one into 16. By doing that, I've multiplied the left-hand side of the equation by 2, and the right-hand side of the equation by 2 as well, which means it stays the same. Technically, just a multiple higher. So let's go through that one more time. So I got x into x. I can't do anything over here, so I multiply this by 2, I multiply this by 2, and I multiply this by 2. Everything. And the reason I do that is because I want to get those two to be the same, so I can subtract, so I can eliminate. Whatever happens to the others will happen on its own. As long as I can get those two the same, I can eliminate x and find y first. So I multiply by 2, this becomes 4, this becomes 16, and now we subtract. 2x minus 2x is going to become 0, and 4y minus y will become 3y. 16 minus 5 will be 11, so y will equal 11 over 3. I'm now going to substitute it in there. It's going to become 2x minus 11 over 3 equals 5. 2x equals 5 plus 11 over 3. That's 15 plus 11 is 26 over 3. Divide by 2, so x equals 26 over 6, which is 13 over 3. So 13 over 3 and 11 over 3, final answer there. Obviously using a calculator throughout will help as well to speed up the process of that fractions as well.